Do you know who we are and what we are doing here?
I really can't remember.
Well,
Do you know?
actually I do. We are here on the behalf of Tallinn schools about the crowdsourcing project for mapping Tallinn's recreational sites. Important stuff, you know?
Oh, we did?
Yeah, for once we did.
Oh yeah, now I can remember everything. The project, the crowdsourcing, the work we had to do. Well, there's a lot of people here today.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it to it.
All right. Well, good evening. My name is Martin. With me, I have Kristen, Marion, Markus, Mari-Liis on the computer, and Mihkel as well on the computer. And we all got here thanks to our teachers, and my teacher is also somewhere there in the left corner. We come from Tallinn Secondary School of Science, Tallinn Technical Gymnasium, Tallinn Jakob Westholm Gymnasium, and Tallinn German Gymnasium. So, Tallinn is divided into 8 districts and 84 sub-districts. Each one of us was responsible of mapping few of the sub-districts and checking on the already mapped sites. We mapped everything, starting from the busy streets of the old town and not so busy streets of Pääsküla. We couldn't map all because there were only 10 of us, although we mapped as much as we could. So, Tallinn provided us with initial dataset of 203 sites that we divided into 8 categories. So public ball courts, outdoor gyms, tennis fields, public ping pong tables, skateboarding ramps, disc golf courses, ice skating rinks, and playgrounds. We tried to cover as much as we could, and we covered up 82% of the sites, which is 162 sites added. 162 sites controlled. Although we added many more sites. So quite literally, we had to walk between all the streets, all the suburbs, basically everything that can be considered as a recreational site, like playground, outdoor gym. We had to put it on the map. And so we did. And we had to walk between all the suburbs, all the forests that we have in Tallinn, all the fields, and we had to check every nook and cranny.
So, to collect data in the field, we used a special mapping app called Collector for ArcGIS. Through the map, we saw our GPS location, so it would be easy for us to mark the recreational activity sites. So we were provided with special accounts in ArcGIS Online and a private map with a few already marked locations. So through the app, we saw our GPS location, so it would be easy for us to mark the recreational activity sites on the map. So every point represented a specific recreational activity site. For example, the purple ones represented playgrounds and the dark blue ones represented outdoor gyms. So with every recreational activity site, we had to mark who it belonged to, who was responsible for its safety, is it paid to use or not, was it public usage, and what condition it was in. And also we had to add a picture of the recreational activity site itself so that the government of Tallinn could also see what state it was in and if it needed any repairing done. So, since the day, during that time, there was a huge heat wave that terrorized the whole country. So it didn't make our jobs any easier. So a big water bottle was a must if one hoped to get any progress done, since it was pretty much always constant 32 degrees outside. And since the days were hot and enjoyable, the playgrounds were full of children playing, and the outdoor gyms were full of people working out. So for us, taking pictures of the objects may have seemed a little weird for them, and they probably didn't have any idea what we were doing. But since there were only 10 of us and we had to cover the entire city of Tallinn, we just physically didn't have the time and energy to map the entire city by ourselves. And that's we decided to get a little bit of help from crowdsourcing. We decided to publish our map on social media. So for example, people on Facebook who saw the post were able to click on the link, and the link directed them to this crowdsourcing app. Through the app, they could also add the recreational activity sites that we did, and we managed to get 21 objects. Like we did, they had to add some information about the recreational activity sites, who it belongs to, who's responsible for its safety, some contact information, comments and pictures, and so on. The crowdsourcing operation itself lasted for 3 whole weeks, and during that time, as I said, we managed to collect 21 points, which is quite good considering that we had managed to map the entire city, the majority of the city before. So the information that we received also varied in quality. For example, some of the recreational activity sites were provided with all of the information, with contact information like phone numbers, web pages, and so on, and some had less information. So even though we tried our best and we got a little bit of help from other people, one can be quite sure that there are still some objects that remain unmapped. And so Marcus will be talking about the results.
Thank you. So let's talk about the numbers. Before, there were 203 recreation sites known to Tallinn city, and 166 of them were divided between us. We added lots of new sites to the ones that were already known. And by the end of the data collection, we had managed to collect 276 objects. Marion here managed to put 80 objects on the map purely by herself. While talking about all the new sites that we collected, let's not forget our contributions to the already known sites. And the crowdsourcing added 21 sites to the map pool, and the end result was 497 objects. To get a better overview, we made a special dashboard application. As you can see, the overwhelming majority of the sites are playgrounds with 37%. In the second place, we have different ball fields, which were mostly basketball courts and football fields. And the third most popular recreational sites in Tallinn are the outdoor gyms with 16%. We also have table tennis boards, tennis courts, skate parks, and 2 disc golf courses. 59% of the sites were in good shape, 22% were in sufficient state. For the 14% of the sites, it is not unknown whether they were in good shape, and 5% of objects were in bad shape. 80% of the sites can be used for free. 6% of the sites needed payment access, and once again, for the 14% of the sites, the status of them is unknown. It is also interesting to note that all the sites that were paid to access were in good shape, which is great, which apparently suggests that the money gained from that is put to keeping the site in good condition. And now, Kristen here is going to talk about the summary of the work we did. Thank you.
Now, if we take a look at the dashboard we made, we can see that most of the data we collected was from the western part of the town. We really couldn't collect from the eastern part of the town because there weren't that many people. With only 10 people, it is hard to cover every nook and cranny of the town. If we had more people, then surely we would have covered the whole town. Most of the sites we collected were playgrounds. That's because in Mustamäe and Haabersti, where the data was also collected, live a lot of Tallinn's people, about 25%, that's 100,000 people. So people have children, and then they can take their children there on the weekends to the nearby playground, or the children can go by themselves. So how to sum up what we did? First of all, we were provided initial data about the sites. That data was edited in ArcGIS Desktop and later uploaded to ArcGIS Online network. Categories and necessary attributes were decided, and the objects were divided between us. For fieldwork, each of every one of us downloaded the collector for ArcGIS application in our smartphones or tablets, which we use to map existing or new recreational sites. With the result we gathered, we created a few web maps, as for the one you're seeing right now. The final data was also downloaded and for safe backup and to be edited in ArcGIS Desktop for later. So how did we end up with? At first, there were 203 objects, which we managed to cover over 166. After the collecting process, we had 476 recreational objects, plus the 21 additional sites we gathered from crowdsourcing. And in the end, we managed to come to a whopping 497 recreational sites, which is a rather impressive amount. It was an amazing experience to go out there and explore the city and mark all the sites we could find. I believe all parties were happy in the end. Tallinn City Administration got new information with photos about the recreational sites, and we got valuable experience in the GIS, fieldwork research, and we learned how to be a functional team with people whom we never met before. Thank you.